Guys, we're rolling episode 96. We're at 96 already. You know, I think I'm going to do a little party for episode 100. So if you guys want to participate, let me know. We're going to do a little party. Probably have some entertainment. You know, some drinks. Probably a drinking game because I love doing drinking games. Isn't that funny? It's like no matter how old you are, you remember having fun doing drinking games if you ever did that. If you were a loser enough to do drinking games instead of studying or trying to get good at your craft, you decided to drink and blow it all away. But there's a lot of that. A lot of that is good. You know, partying with the boys, I think that's important. I do think that's important. But I do wish I would have paid a little more attention to my craft or whatever that is. It doesn't matter what that is, right? If you want to be a musician, you want to be a car salesman, you know, an iron worker, police officer. I think it's more important to spend a little more time trying to be those things versus trying to drink and win it at fucking Three Man. Remember Three Man or another game was Asshole? Asshole's my favorite one. I'm not going to explain the whole rules because it's stupid to explain it, but it is funny. So now I'm doing like adult asshole, right? Which is me and the boys get together and it's like there's a cap to the rules. Like, you know, when you roll or you get a certain amount of cards, whatever. I don't want to explain it. Point is if you're making rules, you don't make stupid rules that ruin somebody's life. You know, because most of us got to go to work in the morning. We work, right? So I don't want to get all annihilated and running my head into a wall or do stupid tasks that'll ruin my life. So we do a cap. So it's like adult asshole, you know, little drinking sips. It's okay. We're lame now. It's okay. I'm not mad at it. Still fun to do. Drinking games, you know, but it's one of those things. And a lot of times I get into the fuck it mode where I just want to call up my boys, my girl, be like, hey, y'all want to take it off of work today and go throw a few back? I'm having that moment now. Well, I'm having that moment. See, it's always the combo, right? Because I get driven from work, you know, so I got a new job today. I'm not going to explain what it is yet, but I got a new job and I'm going to have to work very hard at it. You know, I'm going to be waking up early and, but that's cool. So it's like, I want to get to work immediately, start working on my craft. But I also want to go boozing because I love it, because it's fun. Call it my girl, go boozing, right? So we're going to kind of celebrate my new job, and we're going to go have some dinner. We're going to have some dinner. We're going to have some drinks, probably wine, because I'm a classy drunk. I should probably stop saying that I'm a drunk because, you know, it's fictitious. It's fun to say, but sometimes, like, when you say it too often, your family, your friends start to think that's really the truth, you know? I do like a glass of whiskey. I do like it. You know, and some people can't handle it, but I do like a glass of whiskey from time to time, a nice cigar. You know, I've never smoked a cigarette, which is interesting to a lot of people. I still may try one at some point at this age. They go, Ian, your voice, I know you've smoked a cigarette. Listen to your voice. That is not true. I have never smoked a cigarette. Smoked a few cigars in my time, but I think for the most part, this voice comes from yelling in a microphone. I think that's where this voice comes from. You know, but then again, all the men in my family have deep voices. But I don't know, it doesn't get this raspy. The only reason this voice is raspy is because I yap a lot. I do have the gift of gab. I talk a lot. That's for sure. So it freaks people out, like if I'm at a party and I'm not talking. You know, they're like, something wrong here? Nah, man, I'm listening. Because I do believe I'm a good listener. I definitely listen, which I think is important. I will listen to, well, if you're interesting. What I've been told is what I do here is that if I'm bored, I just walk away. I'll just walk away from a conversation. Sometimes I don't even know I'm doing it. I just go, maybe my sporadic brain goes, oh, look over there. And I walk off. Maybe that's it. I tell my girl this all the time. I go, if I'm ignoring you, like if we're in the house or something and I'm ignoring you, I have bigger fish to fry in my brain because I can only focus on one or two things throughout the day to really put my energy in. I can only focus on a few things, So it's like I have to be selfish right now. And I think if I'm going to give some advice to you guys, if you guys give a fuck about any of my advice, the advice I would give is, for one, okay, say you're married, and you gotta focus on this job because it's important to bring in cash. It's important to bring in money so you can pay rent, pay for the kids, pay for whatever you need, the dogs, the food, the electricity, right? And you have to be selfish at this point in time because you're focusing on everybody's living expense or freedom, right? So you have to be like, baby, I got no time for you right now. Got no time. And she must be a good lady to handle that. And vice versa, by the way. Vice versa. If she's like, look, I got no time for your shenanigans, right? Because most of the time, I'm not going to drop my problems on you. I probably won't, but I will pull a little shenanigans from time to time. I will make a joke or a crack, lighten the mood, but sometimes it's not the correct time to do that. I'm not a prankster, but I do like to make a ball busting crack from time to time, and maybe sometimes it's the wrong time. I'm sure 50% of the time it's probably the wrong time. But I usually could suss out the situation. They could use a good ball busting crack, But yeah, today's one of those days, man. I'm very motivated. I'm super motivated today. I like that. Feels good to be motivated, right? And what causes that? Well, new opportunities. What causes that is new opportunities. Just doing stuff, writing. I've been doing a ton of writing, man. I've been doing a lot of writing. Been in the studio a lot, doing a lot of my work as well as other people's work, but a lot of my work, which motivates me. I love writing. There's something about when you create something, and you now it could be anything, man, anything. It doesn't have to be what people call art or whatever. But when you create something, it does feel good, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Like, I have a lot of mechanic friends. Friends are mechanics or work in construction. And when I fix something, it feels good, doesn't it? I think there's our primal instinct of fixing things by hand. I think that it naturally gives you a motivation to keep going, keep rolling, right? There's something about that. It does feel good. Now, I cannot fix a car engine for shit. I can do the basics, I'll change the oil, change the tires, whatever. But when it comes to, my mechanic friends, my boy Adam, great mechanic, and my neighbor Alex over here is good mechanic. Like they know Alex next door over here. He knows he can work on anything, this guy. But it does feel good to fix it themselves more than just paying someone to do it, paying someone to lie to you. Well, I think the wing nut, whatever the wing nut, that's stupid. I think the wing nut needs a new gasket. And you're like, oh, okay, wing nut gasket. Oh, okay, what the fuck? All right, I'll do it. How much? $2,500? Okay, cool. Let's do it. I gotta get rolling. My car needs to work. So now, luckily, I have friends to where I can just be like, hey, is there a wing nut gasket? And they'll be like, dude, you're paying $2,500? No. And he goes, and my boy Adam would be like, you idiot, there is no wing nut gasket. I'm just making that up. No one's ever said that to me, but that's how stupid I am when it comes to that. I just don't pay attention. Although I do believe I'm a man, I should know a car engine, right? That's just never been in my my sights. I did take auto mechanics, but it's just never been in my sights, But it's important to fix things or be motivated to do things. Be motivated to get up and move your body. That is important. It's very important. I saw a statistic. Now, when I read statistics, I kind of go, okay, who's taking the stats? Like does anybody, when you get called with like a survey, you get a phone call from a survey from like your doctor's office or your Verizon Wireless, get a survey. Do you ever take that survey? Do you ever have the time to take that survey? I don't. They go, is this Ian? And I just hang up. Once I hear that machine, I hang up. I need to hear a human being. But I got no time for a survey. Political surveys, nothing. No time. Who has time to take those? Like what is that? The Price is Right? Not Price is Right. What's the other one? Survey Says? What's that? What's that stupid show? Which Family Feud. There it is. 100 people say, when's the best time for your wife, for you and your wife to make whoopee? So cheeseball, right? And then you go, well, 100 people surveyed. Who did you survey? Who? Who takes the time? If someone was like, hey, can I ask you a question? I'd be like, absolutely not. Hey, can I take a survey for this game show? I'd say absolutely not. I got no time for you. You going to pay me? Give me $50. I'll give you an answer. Like you got to pay for my time. Who's got all this time? And who's the producers in the show that are going to hundreds of people on every surveyed question? Or do they just have 100 people in that office and they just run it by everybody? Maybe they do that. Either way, you get my point. Who's got the time? What the hell was my point? What was my point in this? Motivation. That was my point. That's why it's called Ian's Rants. My point was, it feels good to motivate. So what motivates you? Right? And I'm not going to be a motivational speaker at this time. Because if you listen to previous podcasts, I'm like, go fuck yourself. But, when you get those I do get pumped up by motivational speeches. Right? You can look up like Arnold Schwarzenegger's motivational workouts. Just Conor McGregor's motivational speeches. Cornermen, like boxing cornermen, like George Foreman's cornermen that are, or Mickey Ward's cornermen that are just pumping them up. I mean, that gets me fired up. Fired up. You know what I mean? Rocky, let's go. So it's you got to find your motivation. And I think what happens a lot with some people in my life and people in the world is not a lot of motivation. There's not a lot of motivation, to do anything. And I think that causes major depression. Major. That's why there's so much homeless. There's no motivation, of course, there's other factors. Many, many other factors. Many other mental illnesses. But I think it's motivation, right? What motivates you? And right in my head, I just had something funny to say, what motivates me, but I'm going to leave it alone right now. I'm taking the high road today, guys. I'm being mature. I'm going to be a mature guy, mature Ian here. This one's called Mature Ian's Rant, number 96. That sucks, right? That's dumb. I'm being dumb. Fuck that being mature. It's stupid. My little sister was asking me, like, what? She made a funny joke. It is a funny joke. She goes, how do you keep from, you still look good. You don't look in your 40s. And she goes, what do you do? I go, I'm so immature that I think my face stays with it. And she's like, yeah. She goes, got it. So drinking and staying out all night keeps you young. Got it. And it could be that I don't smoke. That could be a factor. But I do believe it's being immature. I still laugh at dumb shit. My brother and I, we laugh at dumb shit. We were listening to prank calls on Howard Stern, old Howard Stern shows, prank calls. And, They have them read the last, like they'll call up some square radio show and say their name is Lou Sassel, right? Lou Sassel. And I'm dying laughing. It's funny. I love dumb jokes, and I wonder if, it's a different generation. I do believe that we all kind of have maybe a better sense of humor than, say, my father and mother's generation. And I think because they had to be a little harder, right? They had to. There was no time for jokes, no time for Lou Sassel jokes, no time for they sent in an email. This is Tess Stickles. How dumb is that? But I love it. It's stupid. Like, if you look at my DVD case, that's right, I still watch DVDs. If you look at my DVD case, look, I'm looking at it right now. Here it is. Here's the list, because it's open because I was watching a DVD to go to sleep last night. Here we go. Anchorman, Family Guy, Hangover, School of Rock, and then Wedding Crashers, and then Band of Brothers. So Band of Brothers that's a great one. But the rest of them, it's all goofy. It's dumb. It's silly. I think that's important, to be silly. And what's funny is, people that meet me sometimes, they laugh, or they don't know that I have a good sense of humor. Maybe because I have resting bitch face. I think I do. I think I have a resting bitch face. I think that's true. They'd be like, Ian, what's wrong? I'd be like, nothing. Having a good time. What's wrong with you? Nothing. This is the greatest time of my life. I'm that guy. Resting bitch face. Yeah. But motivation. Like, what motivates you? Anything. I think you need to pick that up, because what they, I read the Wolf of Wall Street. I've read all that guy's books. It's interesting. He's an interesting cat to me. His name is Jordan Belfort, because that movie's incredible, by Martin Scorsese. And anyways, he was a Wall Street guy that took on penny stocks and was doing pump and dumps and doing all this. To be honest, I don't know much about the stocks, but he was taking a lot of money from dumb people. Let's put it that way. And anyways, the man claims he could sell anything, and most everything. Everybody has to be a salesman, one way or another. It's a fact. Whether you sell yourself to get the job, if you're going in to be a fitness instructor, let's say that you're going in to be you have to sell yourself. So you're selling something. So sometimes when people say salesman, they think of kind of a sleazy used car salesman. But that's not true. Everybody is a salesman. Right? There's a picture of Will Ferrell right here on the cover of Anchorman. That's a salesman right there. He had to sell that DVD. He had to sell that movie. He had to sell himself to be in that movie. He had to sell the script. All that stuff is being a salesman. So that movie, Glenn Ross, man, that's a trip. Now, that's the type of salesman I would not want to be, for sure. I'm better. Well, I don't even think I'm that good at it, but I enjoy more selling myself. Maybe not my soul. I don't know. Give me enough money, maybe I'll sell my soul. I don't know. I haven't seen it. But selling myself seems to be easier than selling a product almost. And maybe it's just because it's things that I'm passionate about, but it's all good. It's all silly. This is definitely a rant in this motherfucker. This is definitely a rant, because I've gone left, right, up, down. So, but I do want to bring it back to motivation, though, because that is important. Like, imagine going through your life without being motivated to fucking do anything, And then what happens? Here's what happens, what I want to advise you guys to be careful of. And this is what I got a lot playing in bands, and is when you're writing music and you're just pumped to play it. Then you're pumped to record it. Then you record it and you put the album out, and you're on high, because you have hopes of how well that album's going to do. You have hopes on how well that tour is going to do. And then you get on tour and you're playing a few bad shows. Album isn't selling, and it cuts you down. So it's like the extreme high to which makes it the extreme low. So if you're just kind of carrying it at a moderate high, the extreme low isn't as bad. Because your boy here has definitely had some extreme highs, and then I get some extreme lows. Not really mentally so much, but it's more of like I definitely get humbled on a weekly basis. You know, I think that happens, as being an actor. If you're going to call yourself an actor, being a musician, anything you put yourself out, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You get humbled. I always kind of look at that as like fist fights, street fights, right? Is when you win a street fight, that's a big high, or isn't it? Right? That's a big high, man. And it feels good to win a street fight. Now your knees are scraped, your knuckles are scraped. It sucks kind of after, your joints hurt. My jaw hurts. I'm taking a few. But then when you get handled, when some dude smokes you with a fair fist fight, that humbles the shit out of you, don't it? Doesn't it? I've been humbled quite a bit in my time. That's for sure. But I think that's good, though. Because it's so funny. Like, I had a crazy ego. And what that does is you're afraid to lose a fight because you have an ego and you don't want to look bad in front of your boys, and especially not in front of your girl, right? Especially not in front of your girl. But then once you kind of get rid of that ego, you'll fight anybody. Now, I'm trying to put this fighting metaphor with everything, right? With everything, which means once you kind of get rid of the ego, you can take a few licks. You can get back up, right? You can get smoked. Right? And you go, well, I should have been bobbing and weaving on that one, but I didn't. I got jacked. So that happens, and that's happened to me. 50% of my tries, I think I get smoked, and it's okay. It definitely has shot my ego down to. I still got an ego. I mean, let's be honest, but I'm better at managing it. I'm definitely. You know how you heard me just say that? You heard me just say I'm better at managing it. I went up like a question. Like I just questioned myself. You hear that? That's interesting. So turns out maybe I'm not managing it that well. My inner monologue as I was saying it just said, bullshit, Ian. Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. My bullshit meter went off on myself. I'm not managing my ego very well, but I will. I promise I'll give it a go. I'll definitely give it a shot, especially when I'm motivated like today. When I'm motivated, my ego is through the roof, and I think that's good a lot of times. Confidence is good, and it's like when I'm on stage, I'm very confident because that's where I live. I love it up there because I love it. I just do. Love the crowds. I love that whole thing, man. I love playing music for everybody. It's fun, especially when everybody's in on it and drinking with you. It's fun. But you gotta handle that ego, right? Because sometimes with that ego, you'll say some dumb shit. You'll get too comfortable, say some wacky shit. Maybe throw a mic stand at a sound guy. I've done that. Yeah, any tantrum you can think of on a stage, I may have done that in my day, but I've definitely curbed that, and I think a lot of that I've curbed a lot of the on stage tantrums. Just because here's why the tantrums happen, guys. The tantrums happen because because I really care. I care a lot, and I've worked on these tunes a lot, and I work on a lot of I work on the music a lot. And if a sound guy starts fucking it up, because you are at the mercy of a sound guy in the club and the venue and everybody, and they kind of screw it up or they're fucking with you, I definitely fly off the handle. Not so much anymore. I'm so much better at it. And I think a lot of it is because I now have my brother plays in my band with me, and I don't want to get him in trouble. I don't want to bring him into my bullshit. And same with my girl. My girl plays with me, so I'm really bringing in a lot of close people with me into my music projects, and I don't really want to bring drama onto them, which I think is good. I think ultimately it helps keep me from from being a nutcase. Helps me from flying off the handle. And I'm sure some of you guys listening to this have seen my tantrums, which I regret. Again, I regret about maybe 50% of them. The other 50%, I believe I was right on the money. I just can't, it's incompetence. I can't stand incompetence. It kills me. And it's not even, I can't stand not trying. I can't stand somebody not giving it for their all, right? So if a sound guy is giving me fucking attitude, why I'm on stage and I'm giving it my all, I'm drawing people in the door. I'm trying to put on a show, some entertainment. I need to sell records. I need to sell merch. I need the crowd to move. I need the crowd to drink with me, and I need the crowd to buy drinks. That's how we all make money. That's how we all have fun. It all works. And when the sound guy fucks with that, boy, that makes me angry. Oh my God. See, now I'm getting heated, right? Now I'm getting heated. I'm going to bring it back down. You're witnessing an inner monologue throughout this podcast, I believe. It's funny, right? Do you guys do that? You ever talk to yourself? And sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's not. I can't be the only nutcase, right? You guys ever see dead people? No, I'm just kidding. Hey, you ever see shadows? We'll start freaking people out. But it's true. Do you guys ever talk to yourself? I know you do. You have to. I can't be the only nutcase that does, right? And a lot of times and I've said this on the podcast where when I talk about ball busting, there's nothing anybody can say about me that I haven't said to myself. There's nothing anybody can call me that I haven't called myself, for the most part. Because, you know what I mean? You look in the mirror and you're like, dude, you suck. You suck. Now go out there and smile, and your mother hates you. Fuck off. That's not true. My mother loves me. But I've had that. You're a loser. I've done that. You're a loser, man. Why are you a loser? I've done that so many times in my life. And then I've also gone, Ian, you're a god. Right? That's ridiculous. Maybe saying you're a god is too much. But Ian, you're the man, right? And then the next day I'll be like, you are a loser. You suck, man. I don't know why anybody's with you. That happens. I can't be the only one. But what are you going to do? Just die? I said that to my doctor the other day. Because your boy's leg's fucked up over here. I got a knee replacement. By the way, I was in that gym busting out this knee replacement. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to build this muscle. Hurts like a bitch, but I don't care. But the doctor was like, well, maybe this is how, and my doctor's a good guy. He's a young, good looking, very fit guy that's had a couple surgeries himself. He's young. And he did my knee. He did some of my knee replacement stuff, not all of it, not the actual big knee. Anyways, doesn't matter. The point is that he was like, well, you got to take it easy. Maybe this is just the way, because my leg is not bending correctly, and I'm not able to use a lot of weight on it, which I have to. I have to do a lot of physically fit stuff now for my new job. So it's important that my body works correctly. It's very important to me that my body works correctly. So, and he's like, well, maybe that's just the way it's going to be. And I go, I'm not going to just sit here and die. And he looked at me. He goes, of course not. Of course not. He goes, let's see. He immediately brought it back. Because a lot of times when people deal with these knee injuries, they're speaking to older people or people that aren't as active, say, as I am. I got to move. I have to move a lot. I have to. So I go, I'm not going to just sit here and die, doc. And he goes, no, of course not. Of course not. Let's see what we can do. So I'm going in for an MRI, and we're gonna juice this motherfucker up, right? We're going to juice this leg up. I'm not going to just sit and die. When people go, well, that's just the way you're, like tearing a shoulder or a rotator cuff. Well, your arm's just going to hurt now, or your arm's just not going to be as strong. And I go, I'm not going to accept that. And whether it's true or not, I'm not going to accept that. I have to move along, right? One of my favorite things to do is to throw a baseball with my father, throw a baseball with my brother, right? Even me and my mother used to go play catch with the football. And my back was all jacked up from wrestling, and my shoulder, probably a lot of it from fighting and playing music and stuff and jumping off of drums, whatever. And but I'm not going to stop doing that. That's silly. I'd rather die. I'd rather just die because it's just pain, right? It's only pain. So just deal with the pain. Fuck it. It's just pain. Pain is there for a reason, by the way. What's interesting is my left leg is completely numb, right? From all the injuries and surgeries that I've had on my left leg. And I was doing a little independent movie where I had to crawl on the floor, like army crawl. And I didn't feel a damn thing on this left leg because it's numb. And then, when I got home, I took off my pants and got ready for bed. And there's scrapes and scratches all over my knee that I did not feel. And your body needs to feel the pain so you know what not to do. So you know not to put your knee on a rock, right? So I guess there would be a good, you'd be like a superhero if your whole body was numb, I guess. But, except for your dick, you need your dick to be sensitive. You got to finish at some point. Speaking of finishing, I'm going to get out of here, guys. This was definitely a rant, and I appreciate you all listening, man. So thank you to the boys out there. Thank you to the crew. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.